Hi, I'm Nicholas Glenn, and this is Group 1's Use Case 4. So the first part of Use Case 4 was cause and effect relationships. So to define cause and effect first, that's noting a relationship between actions or events such that one or more of them are the result of the others. Examples from our site include chair breaks from the material being weak and or you jumped on it, or you failed an exam because you didn't study and got little sleep. So there are the causes and effects there. The butterfly effect is an observation that one seemingly small event can lead to a series of bigger outcomes. Second part of use case 4 was root cause analysis. So we're looking at the 5 whys strategy here. The 5 whys strategy involves looking at any problem and asking why and what caused this problem. Very often, the answer to the first why will prompt another why, and the answer to the second why will prompt another, and so on, hence the name the 5 whys strategy. The fifth or last why in the strategy is considered the root cause. So you're digging down to the root cause when you're in a conversation. There are some criticisms here. One of them is limited by investigators' knowledge. Another one is not asking the right questions. And the last is the tendency to isolate a single root cause. Third part of use case 4 was the Murals fishbone cause and effect. So here we're looking at predictive and prescriptive questions for our ExxonMobil use case. The problem here was net zero emissions by 2050. So on the top, we have some predictive questions. First one is, in order to achieve net zero, what kind of technologies will need to be utilized? We came up with some assessments here, assessing the cost of replacing old facilities and look at the evolution of renewable technology. The second predictive question is, how does this goal affect the supply chain of their resources, ExxonMobil's resources? So what we can do here is examine the supply chain and look at renewable energy plants and resources to build them. Down at the bottom, we have our prescriptive questions. The first one is, what can Exxon do to minimize the external cost of the customer with the new initiative plans? So how can ExxonMobil reduce what the customers are paying? So we came up with promotions. They can run some promotions and margin. And lastly, we have prescriptive. What facilities will need to be built for new technologies? And we looked at research facilities and warehouses. The last part of use case 4, excuse me, not the last part. The next part of use case 4 was independent and dependent variable storyline. So for our predictive storylines, we have, in order to achieve net zero, what kind of technologies will be utilized? The independent variable is new technologies, and the dependent variables are money spent, research completed, and testing done. We also have, how does this goal affect the supply chain of the resources? The independent variable here is that the supply chain changes, and the dependent variable is expenses, price of goods, and potential revenue changes. For prescriptive, again, we have, what can Exxon do to minimize the external costs of the customer? The independent variable here is money spent, and the dependent variables are cost of research and development and cost of changing customers' products. And lastly, what facilities will need to be built for new technologies? The independent variable is the new technologies, and the dependent variables are potential facilities and money spent. The next part was analyzing previous data models, and this was the last part of use case 4. So the part here was to decide whether we should keep the same models that we have been using or change them. So we discussed amongst our team, and we decided that it would be best to keep the same analytics models to visualize the prescriptive and predictive analytics storylines. And our models we have are right here. For predictive, we have classification and regression trees. For prescriptive, we have artificial neural network, and descriptive, time series analysis. And that will be it for this use case 4. Thank you for watching.